What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. This week's episode is yet another Hidden Arsenal history lesson, or rather history story, and this one is on the history of the Dragunity archetype. Now, I do want to point out, before we get started, there was one that I had, that, yeah, sorry guys, got something caught in my throat. Anyway, there was an archetype in the Hidden Arsenal series that I was going to talk about, which was the Argenx archetype, but I was going through some stuff, and I realized Gen X did not get any support at all over the years, so unfortunately I will not be talking about that. Dragunity will be the next one, and yeah, so I do apologize. But with that being said, let's get straight into it. So the Dragunity archetype is an archetype that was released in the Dual Terminal series, which I believe the first Dual Terminal was Dual Terminal Dragunity of the Hurricane, and then it went into other dual terminal sets, series like Charge of the Gen X, Pulse of the Trishula. And I think those were the only three. Some of the sets that were seen that had the Dragunities, you had Hidden Arsenal 3, Hidden Arsenal 4, Secrets of Eternity, which is a really old set actually. Cybernetic Horizon, Rising Rampage, Blazing Vortex, Star Strike Blast, the Dragunity Legion Structure Deck, Battle Pack War of the Giants reinforcements, Battles of Legend, Light's Revenge, just to name a few. Even also Legendary Collection Kaiba pack, Shadows in Valhalla, and then of course the most recent one, Ghosts from the Past. The OCG sets again were the dual terminals, Dragunity of the Hurricane, Charge of the Gen X, and Pulse of the Trishula. And also in other OCG sets like Link Vrains Pack 2, Structure Deck R, Dragunity Drive, and then the V-Jump October 2020 promotional promos. It's just so many other sets, so many incredible sets. The term Dragunity is a combination of the words dragon and unity, in which their effects mainly revolve around equipping level 3 or lower dragon monsters from your graveyard to your winged beasts. Yes, Dragunities are dragons and winged beasts combined, which that's something you don't see often, honestly. But what's interesting is that it's in the sense of the dragons transforming into weapons or the winged beasts, Dragunity monsters, uniting them with their dragon steeds as Dragunity Knights. So there's actually a few Dragunity Knights in the series. So we have Dragunity Knight Ascalon, Barcha, Gaybolg, Gaydurg, Gorfabar, Lewin, Romulus, Trident, and Vajrayana. Those are the Dragunity Knights, which are absolutely incredible. I've always wanted to play Dragunities, but never got the chance to, because I don't think I have any of the cards actually. Compared to the Crystal Beasts and the Cyber Darks, this archetype also utilizes the power of Dragon Synchros, although they do require Dragon Tuners, as well as Winged Beast non-tuner. So obviously, Dragunities makes sense. It makes perfect sense. The design of the Dragunities, of the Dragon Dragunity monsters, so as far as we know, have armor which either covers most of their body, which to name one of them is obviously Phalanx, or have a piece of armor that resembles, or and is actually named after a weapon. More so, Dragunity Dark Spear, meaning, well, spear. Or they wield the weapons themselves, which Arma Leviathan. Arma Leviathan, I believe is how it's pronounced. And the etymology of this this archetype is the Dragunity monsters are named after either the pole weapons or the strategic military groups, except for Armagram, and by contrast of the winged beasts, Dragunities, they're named after historic warriors such as Legionnaire, which is named after the common soldier in the Roman army. The members of the monsters that are in the series are in the archetype. You have Achilles, which you have Dragunity Achilles, Dragunity Angustiklavi, Dragunity Arma Leviathan, Dragunity Arma Mistiltane. Yeah, some of these names are kind of hard for me to pronounce. Brandistock, Corsica, Koos, which the origin of that is actually a glaive, I believe. Dark Spear, Dukes, Gufserme, Javelin, and then for the Dragunity Knights, I already mentioned those just a second ago. Dragunity Legionnaire, Militum, Partisan, Phalanx, Pilus, Senatus, and Tribus, which Tribus is named after the Tribulus Caltrop, actually. So that's actually pretty cool. The playing style of this archetype is mainly having a opening hand where you're able to go full combo, but you have to have at least a couple hand traps so your opponent doesn't so that way your opponent doesn't stop you from comboing off. The two main cards that you need to have in your opening hand are Phalanx and Koos. Phalanx and Koos, because with those two you're able to easily go into cards like Vajrayana, and then you're able to go off into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which is an incredible 3,000 body Omni Negate on board, which could really help you out. Phalanx and Koos are the key cards. Are the key cards, which they're tuner monsters that can be summoned while they are equipped to a monster. And by equipping Phalanx and Koos to either Dukes or Legionnaire, both of which can also be equipped to the tuners as soon as they're normal summoned, of course. They allow access to synchro monsters that are level 5 or that are levels 5 to 8. And alternatively, Senatus can equip itself with a tuner from the deck by discarding a Dragunity card, which could be pretty much anything at this point. It could be Divine Lance, it could be literally anything. The most used synchro in the deck is obviously Vajrayana, because that's like one of the main cards you need to have in a Dragunity deck, which has similar equipping abilities to Dukes, and Legionnaire that can be utilized to synchro summon a level 8 or 10, which again Dragunity Knight Barcha can be used as a intermediate synchro monster. This is what's commonly known as the synchro climb. Basically, what you do is you go into cards like to a level 5 synchro. Then go into Vajrayana, and then go into something like perhaps what's that one? Crystal Wing, or even also if you were feeling like you have game on board, Decisive Armor. Cards like Decisive Armor, the Time Lord Synchro. There's just so many different ways you can go into your synchro plays. There are so many different combos you can do, but this next one that I'm going to talk about here focuses on requiring dukes in your hand and either phalanx or Koos in your graveyard, which it's incredibly simple to set up by using with the help of Dragon Ravine. Excuse me, which is basically a Dragunity version of Reinforcement of the Army or Foolish Burial, which allows you to place cards necessary you control for allows you to place cards in your graveyard or into your hand to go for your combos, and while also maintaining the longevity and the consistency of your combos. This basically allows you to continuously synchro summon in virtually every single turn, whether it's your turn or your opponent's, which is absolutely incredible. And one of the most notable synchros, and I talked about it just a second ago, is Crystal Wing, in which once we got shiny victories, it was very easy to put Crystal Wing in the Dragunity deck, which would require you to have Dukes and Phalanx in the deck, and also to have Vajrayana as well, which Vajrayana was like one of the main keys to go into Crystal Wing, which gave you Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and even also if you were able to incorporate it, you could also incorporate the Stardust Dragon package, which would require you to have Stardust Dragon, Shooting Star Dragon, and even also Formula Synchron as well, and I believe also Shooting Quasar, and even also as well, what's that one? Limit Overdrive, which can actually help you make Quasar off the bat as well. Cards like, and also too, cards like Dragunity Arma Mistleton and Instant Fusion, as well as Garuda the Wind Spirit, Sylpheed, and Blackwing Zevros the Elite can provide even more summoning power to increase your chances, to increase your speed of going into your synchro plays and even your Xyz plays as well. One of the more consistent cards that you can use in this archetype is Tempest, Dragon Ruler of Storms, and if you were to mix that with Gold Sarcophagus, it would help you search out Arma Mistleton or any other Wind Dragon monster necessary to go into your combos, which would make it even more consistent than before. Some of the other cards that you can use to incorporate in the deck. You have Heraldic Dragon King of Autumn, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, which allows the deck to take the synchro summoning to another level, raising the capabilities of summoning multiple synchros, or rather multiple monsters at once, and at the same time allow you to, if you had the cards necessary, you could also go for the OTK or create a near invulnerable field, or create a board that can basically just prevent your opponent from playing in any Yu-Gi-Oh. Cards like Stardust Dragon, Queen Dragoon Jin, Photon Strike Bowser was another one. And because of this, you can also utilize rank 6 Xyz monsters for handling certain certain scenarios, if you will, such as Gauntlet Launcher, Constellar Totem EM7, and even also number 24, Dragulus the Vampiric Dragon, which is a really good one. And even also number 39, Utopia Beyond. However, Dragon Ravine was a low legal number. Was at a low legal number, meaning you can only use a certain amount, which burdened the consistency of the Dragunities and its overwhelming power, if you will. And while Tempest, and as of now, with Tempest at 1, I have no doubt in my mind that Dragunities are going to be even more powerful than before. So I feel like with that, it could really up the consistency of the deck. And to give you guys an idea of one of the decks, here's one that I found online that actually is pretty consistent. I actually had a look at it, and I looked at some of the decks from past YCS events and regionals and whatnot. This one in particular is kind of interesting. I'm actually going to look up the deck itself, one of the decks. Let me take a look. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm actually going to look to see if there's a top 16. Because I know that Dragunities over the years have actually topped YCSs. I know that some have actually won regionals back in the day as well. No, that's not the one. So honestly, I can't find anything at this point. But I do remember that it did top quite a few YCSs over the years, including one in 2017. I think in 2017, right around the time that we got right around the time we got Shiny Victories. But here's a Dragunity deck, if you will. So for the effect monsters, you have 3 copies of Dragunity Senatus, 3 Dukes, 2 Legionnaire, 2 Tribus, and 2 Mistletoe. For the tuners, you have 3 Kus, 3 Phalanx, 1 Dark Spear, and 1 Ackless. For the extra deck, synchros, you have 2 Lewin, 2 Escalon, 2 Vajrayana, 1 Gay Durg, 1 Gay Bolg, 1 Trident, and 1 Barcha. And for the Xyz monsters, you have Greyfly. Or rather, for the Link monsters, you have Greyfly, Halqifibrax, Herratic Seal of the Heavenly Spears, and 2 Romulus. I know that some decks have also ran a small Utopia package, which would be Utopia, go into Utopia Ray, activate a Rank Up Magic, and go into Utopia Ray V, or go into Utopia Beyond as well. For the spells, triple Ravine, double Divine Lance, 1-for-1 Monster Reborn, Harvey's Feather Duster, Fool's Burial, double Cards of Consonance, Terraforming Dark Hole, and Pot of Desires. And for the traps, double Dragunity Legion, 2 Call of the Haunted, 1 Torrential Tribute, and 1 Evenly Matched. So a deck like that could really have you top locals at best. Not sure. But as far as the weakness of this archetype, the main strategy, as I said before, the main strategy of this archetype is revolving around Dukes, Legionnaire, or Senators, which makes negating their effects. Which, to negate their effects, you would need cards like, cards like Effect Veiler, Breakthrough Skill. You can even also use Torrential Tribute, Bottomless Trap Hole, Solemn Warning, even Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit as well are some of the key cards that they can use to stop the Dragunities. And because that a lot of the Dragunity decks rely on needing their graveyard, cards like DD Crow, Crevice into the Different Dimension, which I'm actually going to look up that card. I've never seen that card before. Oh, it's from the Shining Darkness. Really? Okay, so it says declare one attribute and select a total of 2 monsters with that attribute from the graveyard. From the graveyards, meaning both either yours or your opponent's. Remove those monsters from play. So it's basically a much more cheaper version, I guess, of DD Crow, which is kind of cool. Chain Disappearance, Banisher, the Radiance, Necro Valley, and also the end of Anubis as well are also reliable counters against the Dragunity decks. Seeing as how most of the decks are built in turbo, meaning you draw out your whole deck, you make your board with at least 10 negates, 15 negates, and you're pretty much just golden at this point. Cards that disrupts special summons. You have Vanity's Emptiness and Fossil Dyna are probably the two of the more catastrophic cards to use against Dragunities. But using them with Dragunities, that's like using them with Dragunities is like trying to put. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm probably don't at me in the comments that this is my opinion, of course. Incorporating Vanity's Emptiness and Fossil Dyna into a Dragunity deck is like putting pineapple on a pizza. It does not. It doesn't work. Legitly, it doesn't work. And again, I know that I'm gonna get added in the comments. Don't at me. I just don't care for pineapple on a pizza. I know that some people do, but not me. But moving on, despite the numerous despite the amount of disadvantage the amount of disadvantages that the Dragunity players face, the decks, some decks, the Dragunity decks also have ways of dealing with cards like those. Cards like Debunk, Mind Drain, which is which actually prevents both you and your opponent from activating cards in the hand. More so hand traps, Ash Blossom and whatnot. Max C, even though it's still banned. Gore's the Emissary of Darkness is a good one. Effect Veiler, Ghost Ogre. And also Imperial Iron Wall. Now, even though it does annihilate any and all banishing attempts, obviously Dragon Rulers, of course. If you can add spell and removal cards, spell and trap removal cards to get rid of those threats like Poisonous Winds, Dimensional Fissure, and even Macrocosmos, even Vanity's Emptiness. It's just so many other cards. There are so many cards. So is the deck playable? Absolutely. It is still 100% playable to this day. I know that we've had some decks over the years top YCS. I think it got top 32 in in one of the YCSs in 2016, 2017. I don't remember, but I know that in the last YCS that we had before the pandemic, which was YCS Vegas, if I remember correctly, I believe there were actually quite a few Dragunity decks that were still that were in that tournament. So that's actually pretty cool. But I feel like I believe that it deserves some extra support. No, I really don't, because with the addition of Remus from Ghost from the Past, I feel like the consistency of the deck may go up a bit, which really could help out the deck a lot. But if they were to get support, I would probably say give them a couple of additional synchros that have a good amount of negation. That way, the deck can be even more playable than it was before. That's just my personal opinion. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Question of the day: what are your guys' thoughts on the Dragunity archetype, and should we get support for them? Or rather some additional support for them. Let me know in the comments below, and that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which gets posted every Friday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description. And if you guys have fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.